you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Welcome to another edition of Good Morning Fort Sill. It is Wednesday morning.
It is Wednesday.
So midway through the week, August 13th, and I don't know.
Still got a lot to get to today, right?
Yeah,
a lot of news here locally across our installations across southwest Oklahoma and North Texas, and of course nationally as well. But first, let's take a look at this morning's weather. Michael, in the 60s to start today. I can't remember the last time we were in the 60s.
A little cooler for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, it is in the upper 60s and lower 70s across the area now. I don't have the temperature map right now, but taking a look at satellite and radar, I will show that map a little bit later. Mostly clear skies across the area. And as we zoom out a little bit, you got to go all the way down towards the I-20 corridor to see some precipitation and maybe a few clouds in the I-35 corridor that is just outside our viewing area, but not a bad start to your morning. Right now at the Jackson County Memorial Hospital Tower Cam, you can see mostly clear skies and Altus. Not much to talk about there. Pretty mild morning, and we had a high of 90 yesterday, which is below average for this time of year. That had to do with some of that precipitation we had around the Monday night into your Tuesday, and as we looked at our lows yesterday, around 69 degrees. So overall below average for this time of year. And yesterday we had a high of 88 in Duncan, 88 in Wichita Falls, 92 in Frederick, 90 in Altus and in Childress, and 92 in Vernon. So I'll have your forecast of what we can expect. It will get a little bit hotter as we head towards this week, but we keep small rain chances in the forecast. I will have those details coming up.
President Trump is meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and other European leaders today ahead of a high-stakes summit between the U.S. and the Kremlin this week.
As ABC's Nicole D'Antonio explains, no lasting peace can be achieved without all sides at the negotiating table.
This morning, President Trump prepares to host a virtual meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders ahead of Friday's historic summit with Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska. The White House now trying to lower expectations, calling it a listening exercise.
The goal of this meeting for the president is to walk away with a better understanding of how we can end this war.
Zelensky was not invited to Friday's summit and has said lasting peace cannot be secured without Ukraine at the negotiating table.
Він точно не готується до припинення вогню.
Now he's warning that Putin cannot be trusted, saying he's definitely not preparing for a ceasefire or an end to the war, adding that Putin is determined only to present a meeting with America as his personal victory and then continue acting exactly as before.
A key message coming out both of the Ukrainian capital and European capital is that there can be no negotiations about Ukraine without Ukraine. So whatever might come out of that summit between the US and the Russian presidents, those will not be terms that can be simply imposed on Ukraine.
It comes as Russian troops are advancing, apparently breaking through Ukraine's front line. The former U.S. National Security Advisor to Donald Trump warns this one-on-one summit fits into Vladimir Putin's game plan.
Trump wants this to be his deal that he makes with Putin, that he then presents to Zelensky, which obviously is very dangerous for the Ukrainians. And it certainly fits right into Putin's game plan. Keep the Ukrainians out, keep the pesky Europeans out, just one-on-one between him and Trump.
Friday's summit will take place on a U.S. military base in Anchorage, Alaska, and will be the first time Russian President Putin sets foot on U.S. soil in nearly a decade. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
New information has come to light about the man accused of shooting 5 soldiers at Fort Stewart last week.
A 28-year-old Cornelius Radford appeared in military court for the first time this week. He's now facing charges of attempted premeditated murder, domestic violence, and aggravated assault. The hearing was similar to a bond hearing in civilian court. A military magistrate that handles pretrial matters, a military prosecutor, and Radford's defense were all present for that hearing.
A former judge advocate general at Fort Stewart explains the purpose of the hearing is to establish several conditions, but some military-specific conditions may apply to defendants that are being court-martialed.
In the military, you can exert some control over somebody accused of a crime, such as revoking their leave and pass privileges, having them sign in at a duty desk every 6 hours. So there are ways built into the system where a chain of command could keep tabs on a particular soldier. But I would say, given the gravity and the seriousness of this case, those lesser forms of restraint would likely be deemed inadequate. Could he commit other misconduct, such as even intimidation of witnesses or destruction of evidence? So that initial determination is made usually by the soldier's chain of command, but within 7 days, there has to be this pretrial confinement review. And it really is more of a review than a hearing.
Radford has since been transferred to the brig at Joint Base Charleston while he awaits trial. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison. In your local headlines, Fort Sill National Cemetery will be holding a burial for an unclaimed veteran tomorrow morning.
Now you're looking at video of a previous unclaimed veteran's funeral, and as you can tell, our community supports our veterans. Tomorrow's burial will be held at 11 a.m. at the cemetery in Elgin if you'd like to come pay your respects.
Thomas Ward will be the one laid to rest. Ward was a Navy airman who served during the Korean War. If you'd like more information, you can contact the Comanche County Veterans Commission via their Facebook page. And one of Fort Sill's most popular running events is happening this weekend.
That's right, Kyle. The Alien 8K is happening out at the Lake Elmer Thomas Recreation Area on Saturday night at 8 p.m. It is sold out, but you can still participate for free. Fort Sill Media Relations Specialist JT Johnson has the details.
They already sold out of all the run packages, so too late to get that, but you can still participate in the run for free. It's always free to come out and run. It is open to the public. We encourage you to come out and participate. I have got confirmation that there will be visitors from far, far away out there with us. So come out, participate. It should be a great time. It's going to be at 8 p.m. out at Letra. Check-in is at 7 p.m. Be there or be square.
JT also talked about the second annual SillCon, which is coming up on August 23rd and 24th. It was a wildly popular event last year, and they're bringing it back again this year. It will be at Fort Sill's Patriot Club both days. We will discuss this event next week in more detail with Fort Sill's Special Events Coordinator Ethan Briner. Well, cadets with the Civil Air Patrol toured Altus Air Force Base this month.
Base leaders showed off the mission of the 97th Air Mobility Wing, as well as the roles of the KC-135 Stratotanker, KC-46 Pegasus, and the C-17 Globemaster III aircraft.
Cadets also got the chance to take to the skies for a live demonstration, including cargo loading and unloading, and a chance to talk to pilots in the cockpit. Altus Air Force Base says events like these give cadets a glimpse into the jobs of pilots and loadmasters, potentially shaping their future careers in the Air Force.
The 97th Air Mobility Wing conducted an active shooter exercise at Mendel Rivers Elementary School this week.
First responders locked down the base and simulated a live active shooter event. Base officials say exercises of this nature are critical for evaluating Department of Defense response actions to a lockdown incident and to prepare in the most realistic manner. Well, looking at some events coming up, Shepherd Air Force Base is hosting a cardboard racing competition this weekend. The event will take place Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. 5-person teams from squadrons across the base, as well as other organizations, will compete to see whose vessel reigns supreme. The deadline to register is tomorrow, and supplies will be provided to assemble your ship. For more information, you can contact the Commons at the number on your screen.
Altus Air Force Base is inviting the community to show off their softball skills this month at their co-ed softball tournament. It will be held August 23rd. Each team must pay a $200 registration fee. You have until Sunday to sign up. For more information, you can contact the number on your screen.
The Justice Department has settled 2 race-based admission lawsuits at a couple of military academies. We'll bring you those details of those settlements after the break.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amankwa.
And our current temperatures this morning are a little bit on the cooler side for this time of year. We're sitting at 69 degrees in Lawton right now, 70 degrees in Wichita Falls, 70 in Anadarko, 69 in Hobart, 72 in Frederick, 73 in Vernon, 72 in Kewanna, and in Childress. It is a muggy morning, and we can see that with our current dew points anywhere in the upper 60s and lower 70s across the area. Our winds right now are very calm right now, but they're variable anywhere between 0 to 5 miles per hour, and they will remain a little bit on the calmer side heading into today. As we get into later today, they will be out of the northeast and then switching to the southeast at around 0 to 10 miles per hour. And currently, the upper level jet stream still way to our north, and high pressure still way off into the desert southwest. It will get a little bit closer as we get into towards the end of the week, so our temperatures will be going up a little bit, but they will be around average for this time of year. I'm not really expecting triple-digit heat anytime soon, although it could get very close. And looking at the surface features right now, nothing much other than a little frontal boundary just to our north. Now, as we look at your PT forecast, currently it is 69 degrees at Fort Sill with calm conditions. And as we go over the next few hours, temperatures are steadily getting down into the low 70s. Still, I believe we make it into the upper 60s in some areas. And then temperatures will be steadily getting into the mid 70s, upper 70s, closer to 80 degrees by the time they get to around 10 to 11 a.m.
So the Justice Department has settled 2 lawsuits challenging previous race-based admissions practices at the Air Force Academy and at the West Point Academy as well.
Yeah, the settlement resulted in the dismissal of those lawsuits, which claim that race-based admissions are unconstitutional under the Fifth Amendment. The agreement includes terms that help ensure that admission to the West Point and Air Force Academies is based exclusively on merit, not race or ethnicity. Now, earlier this year, the DOJ settled similar litigation involving the Naval Academy.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says that combating unlawful discrimination is a top priority of the Justice Department's Civil Division, and that the DOJ is committed to eliminating DEI practices throughout the federal government.
Well, the service academies are gearing up for the college football season. The first head-to-head matchup will come October 4th when Air Force takes on Navy.
Now we know the biggest game is Army-Navy, but Air Force unveiled their special uniforms that they will wear in that game. They unveiled a new look yesterday. That look will honor the F-16. The helmet replicates a fighter pilot's helmet, complete with the F-16 Fighting Falcon patch. The jerseys include patches and tail flashes of the 120th and 555th Fighter Squadrons, the 140th Wing, and the 20th Fighter Wing.
The words Fighting Falcon, representing the official name of the F-16, and Viper, the nickname of the F-16, are featured on the pant legs. The alternate uniform is something Air Force has been doing since 2016 as part of the Air Power Legacy series.
Well, and today in military history, on August 13th of 1961, East German authorities began building what became known as the Berlin Wall to permanently close off free passage to the west.
Now, 2 days earlier, they blocked a 30-mile section of the border with barbed wire and drastically reduced the number of checkpoints where Westerners could cross. By that month, some 2,000 East Germans were crossing into the west each day, and more than 2 million people overall over a 12-year period.
The wall stood for 28 years before being torn down in 1989.
Well, still to come, Air Force officials are investigating after an airman died during a routine physical training test last week in California. Coming up, we'll have some preliminary information from investigators.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are.
An investigation is underway after an airman died during a routine physical training assessment last week in California.
The airman was assigned to Port Hugh-Damie's 364th Training Squadron. Base officials say his teammates and on-site military training leaders immediately began life-saving measures before EMS took over. However, they were unable to revive him.
It's the second death this summer during a physical training test. A Marine sergeant on reserve duty died during a PT test in June. Both deaths come as the entire Department of Defense is re-examining physical fitness standards across the military. Over 100 newly activated National Guard members arrived in our nation's capital overnight.
The troops will be patrolling the National Mall and provide presence at the city's iconic monuments. The move is part of an effort from President Trump to combat crime within Washington, D.C. White House officials say that the troops are in position to assist local law enforcement and says clearing out homeless encampments is a top priority.
The Army says Guardsmen will not carry weapons, but will have access to them.
Well, the U.S. Army's Forces Command, so FORSCOM, is hosting their Best Squad competition at Fort Bliss, Texas this week. That contest pits teams of 5 soldiers from across the Army in multiple events.
Soldiers are competing in events such as a Ninja Warrior course, marksmanship, medical lanes, ruck marches, land navigation, and complex mission scenarios. A winner will be crowned later this week. Well, Misawa's Air Base's 35th Fighter Wing in Japan is wrapping up exercise Resolute Force Pacific 2025. It was a 4-week exercise of flying, fueling, loading, and launching aircraft.
So this particular exercise is the U.S. Air Force's largest contingency response exercise in the Pacific. It involved more than 12,000 service members and 400 aircraft across 50 locations, spanning over 3,000 miles. Colonel Paul Davidson, the 35th Fighter Wing commander, says, quote, "This exercise pushed our airmen to operate under pressure, think fast, and adapt in real time." U.S. Air Force personnel worked hand in hand with Japanese Air Defense Force personnel to build trust and teamwork, which made the mission a true success.
And a Navy veteran from Kentucky is on a mission to help his fellow veterans who didn't receive their military honors when they died.
Brennan Kane has more on his effort to make sure every service member gets the recognition they deserve.
Rick McCormick's life has always been tied to service. The Russellville resident grew up in a military family. His father serving more than 2 decades, his uncle killed in Vietnam.
A veteran has honored the United States and us citizens by giving up part of his life to serve his country.
McCormick himself served in the Navy and worked with the Honor Guard in Washington, where he took part in hundreds of military funerals. But one fact still weighs heavy. His own father never received the honors he earned.
That's the least, I felt the least the military or somebody should do was give him the proper funeral that he deserves.
When McCormick learned some veterans in Logan County were also going without, that's when he decided to act.
And that's what really pushed me to do what I'm doing, because of the anger that a veteran don't get what he properly deserves as far as a military funeral. And that's why I do what I'm doing.
Last November, he began recruiting fellow veterans. Now, the Logan County Honor Guard is 7 members strong, representing the Navy, Army, and Marines, and hoping to expand. They're ensuring every veteran gets a proper send-off.
And anybody that stands up to and wants to start from scratch, I feel he deserves to be, have that honor and be a hometown hero.
Each service includes the playing of taps, a flag-folding ceremony, and a 21-gun salute, practiced weekly to keep them precise.
To me, that is one of the highest honors anybody can bestow upon any veteran, is to pay that final tribute the proper way.
Now, all of the services they provide for families, it's free, though donations are welcome, and the group is always looking for more volunteers.
It's the county, it's the community, it's the Veterans Honor Guard. It's not mine.
McCormick says they've already honored several veterans since May, and he hopes the effort will continue for years to come.
I like to see stories like that. Coming up also, too, a nonprofit organization in Louisiana is working to improve the lives of veterans looking for a place to land, a soft place to land.
Yeah. Project for Hope is building a community designed to be a place of healing for those who've served our country. The space can accommodate single veterans and small families with access to resources to help them adjust to life after the military.
Data from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development shows that tens of thousands of veterans not only experience homelessness after their service, but many also live with PTSD, substance abuse, and lack of support system or social network, something Project for Hope says needs to change.
We are a non-judgmental organization. We aren't run by any government entity. We want to try to be different for them and be honest and forthwith of anything that we can offer them, and we want to make them feel at home. And you know, we love our veterans. We love what they've done for our country, and we just want to serve them.
Project for Hope says they hope that by bringing the resources to their doorstep, more veterans will be more comfortable getting the help they need.
Forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
And taking a look at your future track for today, we should start with partly cloudy skies this morning, but then as you go throughout today, we should have mostly sunny skies with a few clouds in the area. And as we go into your overnight hours into your Thursday, we really start to clear out with the exception of our southeastern counties with some clouds still possible, but we'll have mostly sunny skies for your Thursday. Again, a few clouds are possible, and again, a 10% chance of an isolated pop-up shower cannot be ruled out, so I put left in a 10% chance in there. And as we go throughout your Friday, we're going to have partly cloudy skies for most of your Friday. Heading to your Saturday, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as well. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm, but we may increase rain chances going into your Sunday. Your feel-like temperatures today, well, they're going to feel like the mid to upper 90s when you factor in that humidity, especially across our southeastern counties. And as you go into tomorrow, your feel-like temperatures will be a little bit hotter, as it will feel like 102 in Lawton, 104 in Wichita Falls, and 102 in Frederick. Now, taking a look at today's forecast, our actual high temperatures, 92 for the area for Lawton, but lower to mid 90s generally across the area, and winds out of the southeast around 0 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, down to a low of around 71 degrees with partly cloudy skies and southeast winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow, the temperatures will be a little bit hotter, so 97 for the Lawton area, mostly sunny skies, and winds out of the southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And over the next 7 days, we'll continue to have mild temperatures as you go into the weekend, and we're not going to really warm up. Maybe this weekend we may have around a temperature of around 99 degrees, but generally average for this time of year.
Yeah, just happy I'm not seeing any triple digits.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Any day of the week.
Yes, manageable. Well, thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill.